Hey guys, Brandon Woolham, and today we are checking in with Abe Bueno-Jallad, somebody you guys know as Big James from The Chosen. How are you, man?
Good, man. How you doing, Brandon?
Yeah, busy times for you. Season
Yeah,
5 of The
yeah.
Chosen going to begin streaming on June 15th, just a few days from now on Amazon Prime. As we enter season 5, and you guys are already actively filming season 6 too. What do you
Right.
think how do you think The Chosen continues to connect with all these audiences, so many different cultures and even religions?
Man, I think that first of all, we're just trying to do something that's an attempt to be as authentic as possible while still making some sort of credible television style entertainment, and so that challenge right there is pretty. I feel like we've stepped up to the plate. I mean, we sometimes we hit it out of the park, sometimes leave some room to be desired. I'd say our biggest critics are our own fans. But no matter what, we are connecting, we're breaking through cultures, we're breaking through so many barriers, and this is the greatest story ever told, and so we kind of have that in our back pocket. But also the way it's not like we're the first people to try and tell this story on the cinematic landscape. So I think the way that we've approached it, trying to capitalize on historical authenticity, trying to capitalize on heartwarming, heartfelt moments, and trying to capitalize on like I said, just maybe exploring that gray area that hasn't been explored yet, and also the way that we have tried to provide this content to our audience has never been any just like run of the mill way. We've gone to theaters. Now we're in Amazon. We've gotten out of television. We've gone to like more cinematic perspectives. We're always trying to just kind of like I said, take it further. And I think that that's a testament to our success for sure.
Yeah, over these 5 seasons, how do you think the Big James character has really evolved, and how have you evolved personally with him?
Man, I think Big James goes from being a son of thunder to being a son of thunder who has just a lot better attention to detail, somebody who listens a lot more. And you see a more vulnerable Big James in season 5. You see a more grounded Big James in season 5, but you still see that same sort of protector. I tried to kind of dull the edges from, like, if you look at my performance in season 2 and how I speak about the Samaritans, and I'm just like, man, forget these people, like I've just really tried to dull that sharpness a little bit, but still kind of have that very notable quality of Big James, right? The sort of protector, inner circle of Jesus. And so it's been just a real privilege to kind of find that, mine it for myself. That's my interpretation. That's kind of what the script told me. But also it's based on research. I didn't just come up with this. It's based on the fact that we went from Sons of Thunder to my brother being called the Apostle of Love, and what a transformation that is. So obviously it's grounded. I'm not just like some, person that just came up with it on itself. I like to ground it on research and kind of the assumption, James never wrote a book. Not this James anyway. And so there kind of left some gray area and some real malleability that I could really sink into.
Yeah, before acting full time, you were doing a lot of work in the mental health field, and obviously these next few seasons, the build up to them can take an emotional toll on a lot of the actors. No, we don't have to release spoilers. We kind of all know what's coming.
Yeah.
How has your help or your work in that mental health field kind of helped you with some of what is coming with the actors? I mean, that is an emotional toll. What's coming?
Yeah, and I think it's something that's a little bit part of modern conversation about how the actor must take care of himself after, because like your body remembers it. I might be able to say like, all good, dust it off, take off the makeup, go home and take a nap. But like your body does keep the score, so to speak. And so, I think there's a lot of focus that's needed, and not just focus in like creating and accepting this imaginary world that we're trying to create, but also the focus to know that maybe I don't need to go out tonight. Maybe I need to stay in take a hot bath, like really take care of ourselves. And I can tell you that everybody is stepping up to the challenge. The material is palpable. We know what's ahead of us, and I feel that people are really stepping into that challenge. But you're right. I mean, I might need to go. Luckily, you can't really be a part of like mental health and not seek it out for yourself. So I always have those outlets, should I need them. And they come in many forms. One thing that I learned from working in CR, the place that I did in New Mexico, was that systems of care arise from the community as much as they arise from like, therapies that people can access. So you look for your community to help you, and if not, there's always greater resources as well.
Looking back on all these different seasons, what's been the most emotionally challenging moment for you to film?
Man, right now it's still season 5, and I think season 6 is right on its heels. But the Last Supper for my character was represented a complete understanding and maybe a sort of goodbye. I had my goodbye moment with Jesus in season 5 at the table, and it was it took a lot out of me, but it's also something that I wanted to give this character and give myself the ability to genuinely say goodbye and thank him for choosing us in this lifetime, you know?
Yeah, have there been specific Bible stories that have became more meaningful to you throughout these 5 seasons?
There's so many, man. I mean, like, when we're involved in the task of physically making this come to life for the screen, you understand that there was so much that had to go on to simply create, a tent where Jesus was going to heal people and have masses of people come through and the messages. And so, I mean, we read it in a book, but then like we're tasked with actually putting this physical representation of it via the camera, and you just realize, wow, man, like the commitment, but also like the humanity in it. And I think that that's still the thing that gets to my heart, is like at the end of the day, it was such a human story. And he has a mother and he gets tired just like all of us, you know? And sometimes I feel it can get lost when you see it from this only above only perspective, right? Which is definitely there. I'm not negating that that's not there, but we managed to focus on other things, and all of a sudden it feels so much closer to me, you know? So,
Yeah, The Chosen, it's unique in a lot of ways. One of the ways, though, is despite all the success it's had, we know that you're only a couple seasons away from the end of this series. It's going to get canceled technically. How are the emotions as that all starts to set in? That this is only a couple seasons away from going away.
oh man, if I sit too long in that space, it gets really emotional because it's just been a ride. And I've kind of promised myself that I wasn't going to think about the end till I reached it. But you're right. Like as we're rounding the corner, you can't help but look at how far you have to go. And for me, I was kind of brought in this very unusual circumstance in season 2, and the ride has not stopped for me, and I haven't wanted to even look back. So I know that there's just going to be this moment when season 7's over, where I'll have to look back and see what's the trail that we ran, and how do I feel about it. And I can tell you, just by looking at what's ahead and looking at what's around, that I think we blazed quite a trail, and we've left room for others to give it a fair shot. We've grown the sector, the genre, and I feel so proud to be part of this team. To finish with dignity and with your head held up high is something I'm looking forward to. But nobody looks forward to being done, you know?
Yeah, well, we still got a few years before that. We can see this new season on June 15th. It'll be on Amazon Prime, season 5 of The Chosen, and then be on the lookout for 6 and 7, which will also have some of those feature films associated with them. Good hanging with you today, man.
You too, Brendan. You take care. Thanks for the questions. I love it. I'm glad you didn't get a tear out of me with that last one, but but stay up, man.
All right.